Tonight, a controversial arrest after a man refuses to wear a mask in a courtroom.
I'm Mike Dennison in Helena. What's really going on with the Postal Service in Montana? A closer look coming up.
And later, the C.M. Russell Museum is closing up shop. We'll explain why and for how long, straight ahead.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
We also have an update for you tonight on the drowning victim in Great Falls from yesterday. Thanks for trusting KRTV. I'm Tim McGonigal.
And I'm Hallie Schwinnard. First tonight, a Cascade County man is speaking out after being arrested and jailed for contempt of court because he refused to wear a mask.
Hundreds of you have commented on this story on our Facebook page, and as MTN's Coulter Anstad explains, Cascade County Sheriff is also weighing in on the issue.
He didn't ask even why.
Philip DePaul doesn't understand why a judge found him in contempt of court for not wearing a mask.
I think that he was trying to, he didn't like to be challenged, and I wasn't there to challenge him.
DePaul says he doesn't wear a mask because he has breathing problems. When he showed up for jury duty on Monday, he refused to comply with the judge's order to wear a mask and was ordered to spend 24 hours in jail for contempt of court.
I think as a citizen of this country, I do deserve the respect and the right to for selecting whether I wear a mask or not.
A judge does have authority in a courtroom to require someone to wear a mask and find them in contempt of court if they don't. In a news release Friday, Cascade County Sheriff Jesse Slaughter said he is not happy about the way Judge John Larson handled this situation.
I worked really hard to anticipate this problem with our local judges and got my local judges buy-in to deal with this in a way where people didn't go to jail for not wearing a mask. And then an outside judge comes in from a different district, and I get a person in my jail for not wearing a mask. That responsibility ends up falling upon me as the sheriff, and that judge gets to leave town.
Larson is from Missoula and was filling in for the local judge.
A fine probably would have solved the problem, but incarcerating people in jail over this issue, I think, is too far.
Regardless, DePaul is happy to be free and has no plans to wear a mask. In Cascade County, Coulter Anstad, MTN News.
Sheriff Slaughter encourages people who feel the same way he does to take action now to encourage state lawmakers to consider making changes to the laws about a judge's power in a courtroom. As for Judge Larson, our Missoula station reached out to him, and while he wouldn't specifically comment on what happened, he said it's important for jurors to be available and cooperative in a small jury pool. And we'll have more from the judge tonight at 10.
An update for you tonight. We now know the name of the person pulled from the Missouri River yesterday in Great Falls. Officials have identified him as 74-year-old Leon Simpson. Officials say he often fished in that area of Rainbow Dam. The Sheriff's Office and FWP both investigated and confirmed this was an accidental drowning. Simpson has quite the history here. He served as chief of police in Conrad from 1980 to 87. He was also the sheriff of Pondere County from 87 to 2004.
And a bad wreck last night in Great Falls leaves one person in critical condition. Great Falls police say a car struck a motorcycle. That motorcycle then crashed into another motorcycle. Both men on those motorcycles were injured. As we said, one is critical. Another has minor injuries. MHP is also assisting in the investigation, but at this point, they say alcohol does not appear to be a factor. The driver of the car said he did not see the two motorcycles. At this point, no charges have been filed. Danger heading into our weekend. Meteorologist Aaron Yost has our first look at the forecast.
Well, we have seen some gorgeous conditions across north central and central Montana today. Highs topping out well into the 80s. A lot of sunshine. We're going to flip the switch here over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, day one in that change, we're going to see a mainly dry cold front pass through the region. And unfortunately, with that, we usually see critical fire conditions, and that's what we've got ahead of us. Red flag warnings out for the entire western half of the Treasure State. Folks, we're talking wind gusts in the 35 to almost 40 mile per hour range at times, especially along the Continental Divide. And with those extremely low humidity values, yeah, it's not going to be a good day for any new fire starts. So please be very careful out there. Again, that's just day one of our change here headed our way. We're going to see a stronger cold front push through Saturday night. By Sunday morning, that one from Canada, that's going to drop our temperatures 20 to 30 degrees cooler Sunday versus what we're going to see tomorrow. I'll let you know exactly what we're talking about coming up in your full forecast ahead.
As the U.S. Postal Service becomes a political football in the current election, both as an issue and an instrument of voting, what's really happening on the ground in Montana when it comes to mail delivery? MTN's Mike Dennison has more from postal officials and workers.
There's no shortage of political rhetoric when it comes to what's happening at the Postal Service under President Trump's new Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy. Here's Democratic gubernatorial candidate Mike Cooney talking about it just this week.
The Postal Service is under attack. In just the last couple weeks, we've learned that mail collection boxes have been removed and sorting machines have been dismantled in towns all across Montana.
But what's actually occurred in Montana? Postal Service officials refuse to provide us with any specifics on removal of sorting equipment or drop boxes in Montana this summer. Postal workers, however, told me at least 2 large sorting machines that can process up to 30,000 letters an hour had been removed from facilities in Billings and Great Falls. And at least 3 other smaller mail sorters were taken out this summer in Billings, Great Falls, and Missoula. Still, these same workers said they don't believe these equipment removals have had much impact on delivery times within Montana yet. They said things could change in times of high mail volume, like Christmas or the upcoming election, when many more Montanans will likely be voting by mail. U.S. Senator John Tester, the most vocal critic in Montana's congressional delegation of the new postmaster, says he believes the equipment loss is taking its toll.
I've heard from folks both inside and outside the post office that things are slowed down, and it's a big concern. The 21st century, Mike, you know this, people expect things to happen pretty fast.
As for the drop boxes, it's unclear how many were taken out statewide. Although Tester's office says at least 15 of those removed were brought back, including this one near downtown Helena, and ones in Bozeman, Shelby, Lewistown, Glendive, and elsewhere. Finally, what about the election and ballot delivery? Postal Service officials say even if everyone in the country votes by mail in the coming weeks, that's still just a fraction of the mail volume the PO handles in a single day. Helena Postal Clerk Dee Dee Rhodes says she's confident the service will handle mail ballots promptly in Montana.
I can tell you the post office will definitely be diligent in making sure that they are served. We will get them to them. We will get them back to the collectors that need to count them.
Yet, as Senator Tester notes, mail voting is just one reason to ensure the Postal Service can continue to do its job.
It's very, very important to be able to vote by mail, but it's also important to get our prescription drugs, and it's also important to get our parts and our mail and our contacts from our relatives and all that kind of stuff that the Postal Service does.
Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Congress still has yet to act on a proposed $25 billion bailout for the Postal Service during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Several tribal governments across the U.S. are getting CARES Act grants supporting transit operations during the pandemic. Overall, $1.2 million is being dispersed to 8 tribes, including 3 here in Montana. The Chippewa Cree tribe of the Rocky Boy Reservation will receive more than $125,000 to maintain transit operations in north central Montana. The Fort Belknap Indian community will receive more than $107,000 to support transit operations east of Great Falls. And the Northern Cheyenne tribe will receive nearly $75,000 for preventative maintenance on transit vehicles, equipment, and facilities to support its service east of Billings. And effective immediately, the C.M. Russell Museum will be closed until September 17th. They say the decision is in response to a symptomatic employee. They say the employee has not received a positive COVID-19 test, but the museum wants to take this proactive step to protect patrons and staff. We do want to note that the Russell exhibition and sale scheduled for September 12th will proceed as planned. The event is a virtual and remote-only event, so the museum's closure will have no impact. Well, he was a man who loved his state and was devoted to his community. Tonight, we're remembering Cleve Loney through the eyes of his wife.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Welcome back. It's been less than a week since the loss of well-known community member Cleve Loney, and he is far from forgotten.
But who was this Montana-made man, and what will he be most remembered for? As MTN's Lindsay Hyatt found, that answer is far from simple.
A Montanan with a love for people and a devotion to his community, Cleve Loney lived to serve.
My husband was a man of integrity. He was a people person, and he had a servant heart, and you could ask him to do anything and he was right there to help people. People were the most important thing to him.
So important that he chose to represent them in office as a state representative in the Montana legislature and an advocate for change in issues close to his heart, like child abuse in Cascade County.
He got involved in the child abuse issue when October Perez was killed, and no other politician stepped up to take that on. And he went to the memorial service and promised Grandma April Hall that from that moment on he would be a voice for April, and he never let go of that.
Affecting change in his community.
He was able to get laws changed. He just was able to bring a lot of awareness and give parents and grandparents who felt they had no voice, a voice of advocacy for their children.
Loney also served on a rodeo committee, the Cascade County Republican Committee, and was a devoted family man.
That was just his heart. He loved people. In the end, you know, you can take away your house, your car, your bank account, and what's left is people. And really, that's the most important thing. And he lived that way.
And he'll be remembered that way, too. In Great Falls, Lindsay Hyatt, MTN News.
And if you'd like to carry on Loney's legacy, Cindy Baker asks that you support Toby's House in his honor.
We are looking at critical fire conditions tomorrow across central Montana. The forecast coming up next.
Storm tracker weather starts now with meteorologist Aaron Yost.
Welcome back, folks. Going to start off tonight's weathercast with this awesome photo sent in to us by Brian Robinson. Not sure where this was taken here in central Montana, but obviously we've got a lot of lovely places. Posted to our Storm Tracker weather page. He said raspberry bushes full of berries lately and bees. And if you're like any of mine in the garden, they're full of grasshoppers as well. So Brian, thank you for that great photograph. If you would like to share yours, please, again, find us on social media and post away. We love what you guys take pictures of and send our way. So as earlier today in Helena, you can see Mount Helena there, the cathedral off into the distance. Oh, that might be the Civic Center. I don't know. I need to kind of squint my eyes just a little bit. But regardless, it was a great day across western Montana and the central part of the Treasure State. We saw ample sunshine out there. Temperatures for us well into the 80s for those highs today. Now tonight, we are going to be dropping into the upper 40s, maybe some low 50s for some areas. Harlowton about 45 for that low tonight. Great Falls, we're going to drop to about 50. Helena about 49 for that overnight low. And we will see mainly clear skies. So pretty quiet conditions here tonight. Tomorrow, not going to be the same. Here's a look at our future track. We're going to kick it off 24 hours into the future. Notice I'm going to pause it here tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. Not much going on, but off to the west, you'll see a line of clouds approach, and that's that mainly dry cold front that's going to push through the region. And with that, it's going to kick up the wind speeds for us. So we will see westerly winds anywhere from about 15 to 25 miles per hour, and then those gusts in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range. We will see a very slim chance of an isolated thunderstorm way over in eastern Montana. So if you have any travel plans or friends or family that take you that way, that's something to keep in mind. But for us, the main story is going to be the critical fire danger, because that red flag warning has been issued for us here across the western half of the Treasure State, where we see those gusty westerly winds really combined with those extremely low humidity values, creating some issues as far as any new fire starts are concerned. Any actively burning fires, it's going to be a little problematic as well. So tomorrow, to be safe out there, if you are going to be recreating around any type of sparkage or fire activities, it's just not going to be a good day to really do that. High temperatures for us well into the 80s, couple of 90s there over into eastern Montana. But we are going to start to see those temperatures trending downwards as that cold front approaches the region. So now this is Saturday afternoon. We're going to roll it into Sunday afternoon, and you see that front pass through. Again, slim chance of a couple of isolated showers way over there in eastern Montana. Sunday itself not looking all that bad. We might start to see some rain showers, though, develop by the second part of the day. And with that, that's going to be sort of a bigger pattern change for us. At least it's going to be temporary. But look at that huge temperature drop from Saturday into Sunday and even continuing into Monday with some of those scattered showers here across central and some of southwest Montana. So 88 tomorrow, Great Falls, 63 with some rain Sunday evening. Monday we'll hold on to those showers. High temperature is going to top out in the mid 60s. Helena, we're looking at very similar conditions here over the next 7 days. If you're like me and you're a big summer lover, don't worry. We're going to be back to these nice conditions by the middle of next week. We could see some breezy afternoons in the mix by the middle of next week as well, but we'll keep you posted here in the Storm Tracker Weather Center.
Still to come, a Highline legend and longtime MSU Northern supporter becomes the guest of honor at the new stadium he has unveiled. His reaction is next.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
We're on the doorstep of what is sure to be an unforgettable football season with Friday night lights firing up across the state tonight.
Our Tom Wiley is live in Bell to set the stage for the first night of games in 2020. Hey, Tom.
Hey, thanks, Holly and Tim. You can't see it, but I got a big smile on my face. Football is back. It's been, a long off season, but after a couple weeks of practice for a lot of the high school teams in the state, they are back at it tonight. Kickoff at 7 o'clock, including here in Belt. The Huskies welcoming in Absorki. But we're going to go back to Wednesday really quick at MSU Northern, where they unveiled and cut the ribbon on their new stadium. But that was only part of the ceremony.
MSU Northern cut the ribbon and opened their new football stadium earlier this week. Though the Lights won't be playing football in the fall, the event had a game day atmosphere.
58, Joe Fair.
I'm so happy that we got the turnout we do, and this is what game day is going to look like on this campus from now on, and that's a big deal for us.
And that was by design. There was a special guest of honor in attendance, Highline football legend and longtime MSU Northern supporter Mike Tillman.
Well, the thought of the school grabbing itself by its boot straps and pulling itself back together and making its own identity, and we need football here, and it's a proud sport, and we're happy as Tillman family to be a part of putting this together.
The Tillman family spearheaded the charge to bring football to MSU Northern 20 years ago and were instrumental in supporting the drive for a new stadium.
Well, he's the first guy I met when I accepted the job, and there's a reason for that. Without Mike Tillman, without the Tillman family, there's no Northern football. So I think that speaks for itself, and to have him out here today is special.
He and his family have done a tremendous amount just for the school itself.
Tillman has struggled with health issues this year and has passed along many of his duties and philanthropic efforts to his son Craig.
He's been in the hospital for the last 5 months, and he just got out of the hospital here 3 weeks ago, got back to Havre about 2 weeks ago, and it's been a little tough, so it's really nice that he's been able to see this stadium, and he kind of wishes he could watch some football this fall.
The Lights made sure it was a special event, running a play,
on clap, ready?
Scoring a touchdown, and presenting Tillman with the game ball.
Oh, that was cool. That was cool. I never dreamt that'd happen. I thought I was beyond scoring those touchdowns.
And there was one final surprise. The stadium will officially be called Tillman Field.
We wouldn't be here without him. This stadium wouldn't be here without him. Our program wouldn't be here without him. So I think that speaks for itself.
You can check out more on Tillman's legacy at MSU Northern at montanasports.com. I'm going to be sitting here sideline getting ready for Friday Night Lights, but for now, Tim Halley, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Tom. Well, coming up tonight at 10, we'll have highlights from a variety of games: Absorki Belt, Valier Big Sandy, Fort Benton Ennis, Big Fork at Townsend. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
We are going to see some critical fire conditions for your Saturday as a dry cold front passes through the region. With that, be safe out there. We have red flag warnings all over the place. Big time temperature drop as we move into the second part of this weekend and early next week. We're talking 60s for highs with some much needed rain for us here across the central part of the Treasure State. By Tuesday, it does look like we'll see some warmer and drier conditions building back in.
It's pretty cool. Flying cars are one step closer to becoming a reality. Japanese company SkyDrive carried out a successful test of their flying car model with a person on board.
The flying car hovered a few feet off the ground for about 4 minutes. The company says the car can only fly for 5 to 10 minutes right now. The goal is 30 minutes. SkyDrive hopes to have a model available by 2023.
It's like the Jetsons.
Yeah, just like the Jetsons. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here at 10.